I'm Ron Stultz.
I'm Wes Stultz.
We represent Stultz Electric Service. We've been in business for 24 years and handle most of your residential needs.
Over the years, many things have changed. The sizes of the houses have gotten quite a bit larger, and to accommodate this, many of the new houses have 320 amp services. Most of your houses built in the past 15 years have probably had 200 amp services. A 320 amp service gives you 84 breaker spaces and more than enough to accommodate quite a large home.
Back to the 320 amp services, there's a number of reasons for that. Reasons being, these larger homes have multiple appliances. You could have an oven with a cooktop. There's 4 circuit spaces there. You've got, some of these homes have geothermal units, which is larger breaker sizes, more spaces in the circuit panel. So all of that stuff eats up spaces and amperage. That's one of the reasons for bumping up to the 320 amp. That's kind of a big feature now.
Although about only 25% of the houses we do right now have the 320 amp services on them, it might be something you want to consider doing now, because to do it in the future involves the utility company again, and for a slight increase in the overall cost of your project, it's pretty minimal as to the possible return down the road.
Especially if you're going to consider finishing the basement down the road. That would be a key reason to do it.
Yeah, or a swimming pool or hot tub, or huge draws on the heater elements and all that stuff. So,
anytime you're adding rooms or circuits, you have to increase the amperage size.
Right.
Typically, the way the process begins as a homeowner, the homeowner would supply us with a blueprint. Usually, it has an electrical drawing on it. We'll bid it that way with the drawing that's on the plan. If it doesn't have a drawing, we'll draw an electrical plan on the plan. Yeah, we'll draw the electrical scheme on the plan and bid it out accordingly to that, to what we've drawn in there. From that stage on, if we get the job with you, we'll meet you right out at the job site prior to us doing any wiring. We'll walk through the entire home. Every item will be written down that's been changed, added, deleted, and you'll be credited or billed accordingly. You'll know ahead of time before we start any project where you stand.
And all items will be itemized.
Mm-hmm.
All items will be itemized.
All items will be itemized. Per item, as an item.
Recently there's been a few code changes that really affect the homeowner. One of them is arc fault protection. This protects your home in almost all the areas other than the kitchen and the garage against arc fault. Arc faults are caused by bad cabling, older cabling, and wires inside the wall. Say you're hanging a picture and you don't know it, and you hit that wire with a nail. That can create an arc. This breaker is designed specifically to pick up on that arc. Kind of the oddball arc. When you throw any switch in your house, there is a small arc that goes on there. This device knows that arc. It sees it and will not trip. But if it sees a dangerous arc, like I mentioned with the nail in the wall or the cord getting stuck in the drawer or whatever it might be, it senses that that's a problem and trips the circuit off. Other code changes are tamper-resistant outlets. Those of us with kids or who have had kids know about plugging in to child-proof your house. Now essentially the outlet has that built into it. You really can't shock yourself by plugging something in because it has a kind of a closable cover that protects the user. It used to be that we could use an outlet from the house and transfer that same outlet outside, and now that's become an issue. The outlets outside are rated weather resistant, and most of the times they are GFIs.
The GFCI is a ground fault circuit interrupter. And in the simplest terms, it protects people from being shocked. Ground fault circuit interrupters, for example, are installed in your kitchen. Let's say you've got a mixer sitting on your kitchen counter and you drop it into the sink. That's going to pop that ground fault circuit interrupter and you're safe. There's no issues as far as being shocked, anything like that.
That's why they're usually used in wet locations, like Ron said, kitchens, bathrooms, outdoor, laundry rooms, garages, and basements. That's pretty much where you're going to find those throughout your house. Anywhere there's wetness or moisture, even like a basement floor, that concrete carries moisture, so that's an issue. That's why they're down there. The typical building process, of course, we have to deal with building inspectors. Being around for as long as we have, the building inspectors do change, from time to time.
but we have a pretty good idea who we're dealing with. We know what they're looking for. If any issues do come up, we talk to the inspector directly. So normally the builder or the homeowner, if he's building the home by himself, they don't have to deal with the inspectors. We're the ones that handle that stuff with them. If you decide to finish your basement and you want to update your phone system or your cable system or any kind of a structured wiring system, that might be a time to consider doing that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But before that basement gets drywalled, we can take that opportunity to fish in wires to your first floor, or if it's a little more challenging, the second floor. If there's a will, there's a way. But that is a great time to start over on what's there and try to update to data lines, newer phone lines that are faster, probably, depending on how old your house is, a better cable TV wire. Or if you have satellite, it'd be a time to rewire the satellite system. Maybe you've got wires that are crawling 30 feet up your house right now to a dish, and maybe it would be a time to avoid that and see if we can rewire some of those areas. Structured wiring is running each wire individually from either a phone or a data location or a TV location. Each individual runs back to a structured panel or a box, essentially. I know we go into a lot of basements and we look up in the rafters and it's an absolute spider web up there of who knows what. When you're dealing with a structured panel, everything, like I said, is separate runs, all labeled, and on the phone and data end of it, we can treat those wires as essentially the same cable. They are both Cat5e cables, and we can terminate those ends of those cables to either be a data line where you can plug a computer in, or plug your TV into to get streaming on or anything like that. And if you want to, we can easily change that over in the structured panel to a phone line. They're essentially the same cable and the same termination. For those of you thinking about doing your basement, or for those of you who aren't doing your basement, we do whole house audio systems, from really nice systems to more of a budget system depending on how much you want to spend. It's a great time to take your great room on the first floor, and one way or another we will figure out a way to put some in-wall speakers in there, a subwoofer, and HDMI cables, component audio video lines, and get you set up ready to go for the ultimate movie experience.
Surround sound.
Right.
Yeah. Some of the new products that are available that have just come into the market that we're starting to use, this is a standard, what's referred to as a bubble cover. This is mounted on the exterior of the home. It gives you weatherproof protection for the device that's inside, but customers never liked them. They're ugly looking. They break off, they're fragile. We've had to install these for about the last 5-6 years. Now this is being phased out. This is the new product that we're installing on most of the homes that we do. This is actually cut into the plywood of the home prior to siding being installed. And what you have here is a really strong product. It still qualifies as what's considered a bubble cover, but it's very strong and basically tamper resistant. So this is the new product in regards to outdoor weatherproof outlets. So this product in a nutshell basically is the update for the bubble covers that have been required for the last 5 or 6 years. This is the new product we're switching to. Like I say, it's durable. The other upside on this is it's paintable. So this blends right in with your painted siding or stained siding. Along with that, we did talk about the arc fault breakers. Wes kind of highlighted those are required by code basically for any habitable room. The only reason I wanted to show this here is the homeowner themselves, when they open that circuit panel, they can actually push a reset button to trip the arc fault and make sure it's working properly. As far as convenience products, there's a couple different switches that we're starting to put in the homes that are very reliable. They're kind of nice as far as not having to actually turn on a switch. One of them being this motion sensor. This will pick up you walking into the room up to about 12 feet away. So if you walk into they're mostly used in walk-in closets, stuff like that. You open the door, yeah, for bathrooms. You open the door, it automatically senses that you're walking in, and it'll turn on whatever lighting this is designed to control. This will control your vanity lights. It could control some indirect lighting somewhere, that just some dim lighting in the bathroom, that if you just need to come into the bathroom and use the toilet, it's just some dim lighting to get your way in there, and that's all you're ever going to need in there. The other one that we've been installing for quite a few years is just a simple door switch. This mounts in the door jamb itself, and simply enough, when you open the door, the hinge opens and it releases the button, turns on a light in the room.
A couple other things that have changed. This is your traditional floor outlet cover. This is a pretty big commitment for a homeowner to say, yeah, cut that in my hardwood floor. But if you're looking for 2 outlets, it's kind of your only option. Other than if you're looking for a smaller option. This is a single, called a sill outlet. Quite a bit smaller. Can be used in floors, and another place we've been using them is actually in the top of mantles. Instead of having a big box cut in, we can get away with just, I think this is like a little 1.5-inch hole, and we can actually put them on the right and left side of the mantle, and kind of hides the cords a little bit better if people are looking for Christmas lights or lamps on each side, depending on what you're looking for. So the sill outlet is also kind of a relatively new product we've been using. Another product that Arlington offers is this box. This is kind of a 2-in-1 joint use box. We can run high voltage into one, being a 120 volt outlet, and we can run low voltage into another. And if you can see by the construction of this, it's actually recessed in the wall, about 1 inch. This works perfectly for the person who wants the TV hanging on the wall above the fireplace. It gives us room to recess this back, have the plugs recessed back in the wall, and all the cords kind of out of sight, out of mind. TVs they're becoming so flat that the only thing holding them back from going flat against the wall are the cords themselves, and this is kind of a solution to that problem. The newest product we've been installing is called Radio Ra 2. It is a whole house lighting manager. What you're looking at here is a 6-button keypad that will essentially set lighting scenes for you throughout your house. It controls up to 200 devices, and this particular one has a raise lower button on it. So if I do set a lighting scene or set it for an individual light, this works as a dimmer on the bottom. This system can be integrated into remodel construction as well as new home construction. All these devices speak to each other wirelessly. I can plug in my laptop into here and I can program every lighting scene throughout your house or every dimmer throughout your house. There is no end to keypads. You could have as many or as few as you want in your house. The keypads can go up to 15 button keypads. It would be 15 loads or 15 scenes. Another upside to this program is you can tie it into your security system and you can tie it into your garage door opener. So you don't ever have to walk into a dark house again. You can open your door and essentially turn on, if you wanted to, every light in the house. The other thing that this offers is an all-on, all-off. You can essentially set a keypad to an all-on situation where every light in the house would go on. You can do it just the opposite if you're going on vacation, all off. Or if your vacation mode says, you know what, I want the island lights on only at 40%, that's the scene. I also just read that they came out with an iPhone app to control this from your iPhone. So the technology is pretty new. It's still changing a little bit, but the basics are still going to be the basics, and this right here is it.
We contract it with builders, commercial development. We also work with individual homeowners. If they're building the home by themselves and they're looking for their separate electrical contractor, we're there to offer our services as well. You can contact us at StultzElectric.com, or you can contact us. Cell phone numbers, area code 262-224-3914 for myself.
And 262-224-3915 for Wes.